Oh, look at that sweater.
Yes, look at that sweater.
Oh my God.
All right, Troy, now that you called it out, you got to audio describe it now, you know.
All right, I'm ready. Are we live?
Okay, go for it.
We
All right,
are,
this is my best attempt. By no means do I pretend to be as experienced or as colorful at describing things as our agents, but I will do my best. But what I'm looking at right now is our very one and only Jenine Stanley, who's in the camera now. Right now, she's holding her hands up. The background is plain white with the Aira logo on the upper right, along with the Aira name. But what is most interesting when I look at Jenine is, and I'm going to break the Aira tradition of I'm actually going to judge what she's wearing. It is ugly. It is ugly. It is a red sweater. It's a Christmas sweater, and what you can see is it's a flat red on the chest, and there's some gold what is it, antlers, some
yes,
gold colored antlers. Yep. And then the sleeves, like, you know, if you're trying to make it ugly, you would use lots of patterns, and that they don't really fit together, or they do, you know, depending on how you look at it. But yeah, there's some green, brown,
look at the sleeves,
white. You know, it might even look like, you know, crazy Braille, like it's got white dots on it. It is a hot mess.
It is bizarre.
I love it. I love it.
It is a big old reindeer head with, he has on his aviator. Let me do this without being obscene. There we go. He has his aviator glasses.
Ah, yeah.
Yes.
So now I can see the whole reindeer. Now maybe that's just a little more interesting. It's
a little more interesting. The sleeves kind of take it into ugly land, though.
Yeah, it's okay. It's
a scary sweater, folks.
Yeah.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yes.
All right.
Well, with that, we've already begun this last Explorer Call of 2020. And the Explorer Calls, honestly, folks, have been one of the bright lights of 2020, I think, for all of us. And we hope you feel the same way. I'm Jenine Stanley. I am your Explorer Community Manager. We are joined tonight by Ryan Bishop, our Product Manager. Hey, Ryan.
Hello, everyone. Hope everybody's having a great December, and hopefully finishing out the year on a positive note. I know this year has been kind of crazy, so hopefully we're finishing December on a positive note and getting ready for 2021.
Yay.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and we have our CEO with us, Troy Otillio. Hello, Troy.
Hello, everyone. And should I kick it off?
You can kick it off. We will have our special guest here once Troy gives us what's new and exciting at Aira.
Well, I'm gonna do so. We're gonna do a little reflection. We're gonna usher 2020 towards the end. It needs to end, and we're just weeks away, right, from ending it. But I do think it's worth looking back on this year. You know, talking about Aira, because it's the Aira call. I'm sure we all have our journeys of the year, right? I can even just start with myself. This is the most unusual, inspiring, challenging. I mean, there's not enough adjectives to throw at 2020 for me personally. I think about, and by the way, we just had our internal company meeting, which is always exciting. We share news. We talk about the service. We talk about what we could do to improve it. We talk about the challenges. We talk about the successes. But in this company meeting, we did a lot of reflection, and we broke out in groups and talked about, you know, the good, you know, the bad, and what we hope in 2021. And I'll start with just like, let's think about like where you probably saw Aira go. So in January, things were basically humming along. And I think in February, all of a sudden there's this change. Like, for those of you who notice, some group called Blue Diego acquires Aira. What's going on there? All of a sudden, this the former COO, Troy Otillio, me, is CEO. Geez, what's that about? You know, I think there's a lot of questions going on. And then, you know, I came in, and as I tried to declare at the beginning, if you didn't hear, like, my goal is to run Aira sustainably and, you know, for forever, right? We want to see this service continue. And I think I also described that kind of our funding and approach had changed. We went from a VC-backed approach to something with you know, a different focus, to one where we're just looking to solve and improve upon our current service and grow it sustainably. And I remember going to CSUN. I think I shared, and maybe I met some of you there. I see Jim's on the line. I went to CSUN with all the hope and aspiration of like, hey, this won't be my first CSUN, but it will be my first CSUN as CEO. And I was really looking forward to meeting explorers and listening to them even more keenly. I was interested and excited to meet other partners. As a philosophy, I'm like, hey, Ira should and could partner with more of the industry organizations. I mean, we did some of that, but I just felt like we could do more personally. And I got there, and well, COVID was just breaking, right? Like the news, and imagine you're in that big hall, and unlike most years, it was empty. It was quiet. It was unusually. It was eerie.
It's a huge exhibit hall.
It's a huge exhibit hall. Like
yeah.
Your challenge usually at CSUN is, and I'm starting to lose my hearing a little bit. My challenge is always like, I got to get really close to people to hear them, and that was not my challenge.
That sounds like a lot of exhibit halls. CSUN especially. I think it's huge, and I love it.
And so, and it's about that time we had declared that for a while, we're going to sunset our support of the Aira glasses. And, just to remind folks, I mean, we launched the company on Google Glass, right, which is a very expensive piece of hardware, with the hypothesis that a hands-free experience would really be required and would really change the game. And certainly I still believe, and I think you guys believe, a hands-free experience is critical, right? But we launched on Google Glass way back in 2015, and then we iterated, there was Austria, there was a bunch of different other versions of Glass, and then we're like, hey, these still aren't good enough. We're going to make our own. And we did. And even then, we kind of learned there were still some drawbacks and some challenges. And frankly, it was hard to run that operation sustainably. And so we made the decision. It was a tough decision. I can tell you it was my first tough decision. Like, we're going to end this period for now, even though I had a lot of people, complain, right? They're like, what are you talking about? I use this, like, there's some really passionate users, and had long talks and listened. But we did that, right? And then I think about, then COVID's spiking, and it's, impacting everyone. We did in that spirit of partnership, I thought about like the impact on this whole community, not just on the Aira community. And I thought about that, or we thought about that, because why? Well, we have unprecedented view into the daily lives of this community, like the nature of the service, the fact that, video is streamed. And as an executive, I have access to that. I look at the feedback from users. We could see the behavior changing. And so we sent out a survey. We asked you all, like, what is changing in your life right now because of COVID? And some of the responses were surprising, some were not. Perhaps what was most surprising was how many people opted to take the survey and finish it, given how long it was. It was like a 40-minute or longer survey if you did it all. And we got a ton of responses, and that inspired me to say, hey, Vispero, hey, APH, hey, larger community, AFB, NFB, who am I missing? AFB, ACB.
There were
yeah, I got to get all my C's. Let's get together. Yeah, let's get together and do a broader survey, because, Aira's just one tool in the toolbox. We're just one, but and so we had the flatten inaccessibility effort, right? Which I've been told is one of the largest surveys of its kind ever to take place. And that data came back, and that report was produced, and it influenced how we operate our company. I think it influenced how others are operating and helping. And even then, there's still more to do. But I just remember that, and I reflect on like how new COVID was, and how it's still concerning, but it's always scarier to be presented with something scary and unknown. I think, sadly, like, it's known, it's not in control, but there is hope on the rise. Anyway, I reflect on that, and then I finally reflect on the next move we made, which was to change our free offer, right? Which again is aimed at sustainability. We had just, users, I don't blame them. In fact, I applaud them. Like they're like, hey, 5-minute free. I'm going to use this a lot. I'm going to call back to back to back. But at the end, 55% of our calls were quote free, which really means, paid for by Aira, and we just couldn't sustain that economically. And so we had to cut it back. And I really have to thank many of you, like, we reached out to kind of understand, what this meant to you and how we could best communicate the change. And it really just came down to being kind of honest about where we are and where we want to go. And with that, we changed the offer. At the same time, we did change and improve some of the, some of the availability, including we launched the museum offer, and we did some different things. We looked at Black Lives Matter, and we tried to do something meaningful, not just solidarity through a web banner. Not saying that's bad. It's just we wanted to do something, not just talk about it. We looked, in fact, and I didn't talk about this before, but we looked at how do we get customers? Like we actually have a disproportionate user base. How are you supposed to say this? Our percentage, as we understand it, of people in the group that, indigenous or Black or, in that category, Black or brown, is not at the same proportion as the national averages, right? We are below. And so we look carefully at that, and we still are working on that because it's a marketing challenge, right?
For us.
And I'll even just pause there, like, Jenine knows, Ryan knows, like we take that seriously, and, we want to improve that reach. And we're still looking for ways and ideas. I don't think we haven't cracked that one yet, right, Jenine?
No,
right, Ryan?
We haven't yet, but there is a great article that went out in this week's Aira News that you all should have in your mailboxes today. Check out that article. It's a project that we're doing with UC Irvine that is looking at underserved populations for technology in general and our product specifically. So take a look at that article. It's a good article talking about kind of our ongoing efforts with universities, with communities to try to bridge this digital divide that we're all going through right now.
So all during this time, I'm talking about all the things that changed, maybe like, that were some tough decisions. What wasn't a tough decision is we brought along a lot of new access, plenty of new access partners with some concentration in the university space. I think it's great to make sure, our younger generation who's, at that critical stage of learning is supported, especially when they're at home and maybe they don't have access to the in-person resources. I think that's a great story and a great outcome. We had distance learning for free for a while, as long as we could afford it, to learn more about why and how people are doing that. To also then use that as good evidence for others to support it, whether it's an employer or a college university. And I don't think it was successful. We gained a lot of prominent colleges. There's so many more to go. There's actually 4,100 universities in the United States alone. We brought on a lot of great access partners. I mean, I think about some of the bigger ones like Target this year, especially when they expanded.
My lovely sweater, in fact, came.
Oh, is that right? Your sweater was from Target.
Target.com trip with an agent.
But because of you all, really what Target, Starbucks, anybody looks at is like, what is the engagement level? Is this service that I'm providing something that the community wants? And we hope it's one that, the community wants, but only, the community can decide, right? We also launched our Dynamic Insight Group, which is a fun name for a small but potent collection of people that, we had to select out of a sea of folks because there was so much positive response.
400 applicants.
How many? Say that again.
Over 400, I believe. Ryan, wasn't it around 460?
Yeah, it was around 465. I believe is the number.
That was hard, by the way. Just so everyone knows, there was.
We spent days. I
mean, literally, because when we asked, you guys brought it, and there are a lot of people who passionately care about the service and the concept. So that was great to see. And
that's all under the philosophy of continuing the Aira tradition of listening, right? But maybe listening in a more structured way. I know we attended some of the national conventions. I actually found, in a lot of ways, for example, both NFB, ACB, but I found those to be a little more engaging in a funny way. It's great to be in person, but the format of like an open door Zoom, while that doesn't sound fun, it really worked well because I thought we got to hear from more people, and more people got to hear questions from those folks and the interactions. And so I hope you guys, if you were there, enjoyed it. But yeah, we accomplished a lot this year. And at the same time, let's just be honest, it's a year of perseverance. It's a year of quick adaptation. And I can say this, Aira is stronger for it. Like, I felt like we were pretty agile, strong, great company coming into 2020. But I see now that, when even more adversity is thrown at this group of people that are coming to work every day with, passion, like, if we can overcome 2020 and all of the obstacles that we've faced, I just, I'm excited once those obstacles are not there, because I feel like we've been like training, like, I imagine us in a gym and like there's the coach yelling at us and like, okay, now hop over these balls. Okay, now you got to jump further across this. Now you got to lift weights and hop over the ball. And like,
Yep.
As soon as that chaos ends and we can expend our energy on, just pure growth and not just, overcoming the obstacles of 2020, boy, we're gonna start rocking it. And so
Stand back.
stand back. And gosh, we have some really good announcements coming in 2021.
Yeah.
And you'll be hearing from new brands that are adopting Aira. I think last time I was biting my tongue. I am so biting my tongue this time because we're just pen strokes away from some really cool announcements. But that's all I can say about it right now, is that we're close. But anyway, I'm going to stop talking, but I do want to share on behalf of the whole company at the end of this year for the people on the call, because you guys are true, quote, believers, you're true advocates. That's why you're here. We just really appreciate your focus, your attention, your questions, your criticism, because you make us better and you inspire us to do more. And yeah, I guess I'll leave it there. Thank you. My hats are off to you, and I'm looking forward to the rest of this talk, this meeting.
Very exciting. Well, I think the one and only thing that Troy left out of our 2020 review was that we brought the folks in the UK from a pilot program status to full Aira service in the UK. And that was pretty exciting. We welcome them into our family and love having them on our chats, on our calls, even though it's like 1 o'clock in the morning there.
Absolutely.
We may still have a few people who will tune in. But UK, hold on, because 2021 is going to be, we're going to really kickstart things in the UK in terms of some partnerships and access sites and all kinds of things. So just hold on, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. We've got some great advocates there. Well, we also, on the personal side, we have a new employee who's been added to the communications team here on these particular, all of our YouTube adventures and all of our Explorer calls and programming. And Ryan, would you like to tell us about her?
I would. Unfortunately, she's not on video at the moment.
She's
because,
asleep on the job.
Yeah, she's sleeping on the job.
The first day.
First day already sleeping on the job. Can't believe it. However, I'm happy to say that our new employee is a black lab dog. So as of yesterday afternoon, which was why the whole hush hush was going on, I recently finished graduating from a guide dog school, and just obtained our newest employee that will hopefully wake up at some point and join us. Yeah, she sleeps a lot when she's not working, but
Well, she
uh,
Well, congratulations on finishing. That was one of our big surprises from the last call, you know, that, well, Ryan's got a special announcement, and that's it. So, welcome to Your Girl with us. And let's see, we have a couple more announcements, then we will get to our guest for this evening and tell you about Aira Active. But our announcements on Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, we will have our final episode of Afternoon at the Museum for this year, and it's going to be a special one. We had a request to look at the Paralympic and Olympic Museum in Colorado Springs, and we are going to do that with Paralympian and digital Insight group member Lex Gillette. And Lex has a number of really cool YouTube videos out there that he has used Aira to help set up and to help him to edit and such. And he's going to talk to us a little bit about what it's like to be a Paralympian, a little bit about his experiences, and talking about the museum and the Olympic and Paralympic Training Center. So again, that's going to be Friday at 4 p.m. Then next Saturday on December 26th at 4 p.m., have you ever wondered what is Kwanzaa? What is this Kwanzaa holiday about? Or, well, you've heard of it, but you really don't know much about it. Well, we are going to present to you a 90-minute program by Dr. Linda Humes, and she is going to bring us the story of Kwanzaa, and we'll have an agent there to describe everything that Linda doesn't. And Linda is pretty descriptive, so I think this is going to be fun. And then we'll have a Q&A afterward, and that will be live on YouTube and Zoom. So be looking for that announcement early next week. And please come and join us. I know, everybody is curious to find out what this holiday is. And when you hear the theme of Kwanzaa, I think it's really going to resonate to kind of end 2020 and start 2021. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Bahzad Ballout. And many of you have talked with Bahzad on the phone, and he is the coordinator, I'm going to get your title wrong here, Bahzad, of our Aira Active group. So, Bahzad, what is Aira Active?
Well, first and foremost, thanks so much for inviting me. I'm very honored to be here. Aira Active is a program for explorers who would like a measure of perspective about the service. It spans 1 month, and within that month, the explorer convenes with a coach. Now, a coach is another user who has a wealth of experience using the service, typically for about a year, if not more, in a variety of contexts: the home, the academic environment, workspace, etc. And throughout that month, the coach speaks with the explorer once on the phone, and then subsequent times take place in any medium of the explorer's choice: text messages, emails, etc. And in essence, the program boils down to 3 informal conversations that span a variety of subjects. The coach has an opportunity to meet with the explorer, listen to what the explorer may need, and then advise them, telling them about all of the features that Aira has to offer, from access offers to a task like reading a restaurant menu, to having an agent assist them traverse a mall, or having their bus schedule saved in the Aira folder. All sorts of things: online shopping, Amazon, for example, ordering from Instacart or DoorDash. So that's what Active encompasses. And best of all, registration is completely free. I see it as complementing the subscription that an explorer has. So to register is completely free, and all of the sessions are equally so. So it's a really fun program to be a part of.
Excellent. And this is done by a core group of our customers who are longtime customers and very experienced Aira users. So you're going to get some great info. And if you were out there kind of saying, okay, I've got the service, but I'm not sure what I want to do with it, maybe I have a lot of vision that I already use. Why would what? I know that this is a great thing and I've signed up, but am I really going to use it? You've got a group of people here who can tell you all the reasons why it's a great thing to actually make use of with your subscription, or maybe you got a gift subscription, something like that. These folks can really help. So how does one become an Aira coach? And are you looking for more coaches? What's that process like?
They're more than welcome to send an email to support@aira.io expressing interest in becoming a coach. As I mentioned before, typically we would like coaches with that modicum of experience. People who have a wealth of knowledge about Aira and all of the tasks that can be done with the service. So you're more than welcome to send us an email, explain why you'd like to become a coach, or you're welcome to contact customer care, though I would encourage you to send an email, because what happens is after that, we follow up with you with an email of our own responding to that communication and asking for a time in which you can be interviewed. So we have an interview with you, kind of getting to meet you, getting to know who you are. And then we talk to you about why you'd like to become a coach. We ask you various questions. And then after that, if you pass that first process, we'll follow up and then you'll be added to our coaches community.
Oh, and you folks meet regularly as well, right?
Once every month, yeah. The meetings are remarkably awesome, in my opinion, because it's an opportunity for coaches to engage with one another. It's an opportunity for coaches to meet together. And we talk about some of the challenges that explorers confront. For instance, one of the challenges is having family there, having family around. Well, how do I use Aira in that particular instance if I have family around who can assist me in that regard? So we talk about things like that. We talk about coaches' experience, because overall, in addition to being that place where coaches can exchange ideas, the overall idea is to arm them with the tools necessary to help explorers, to help everybody. It's a community effort. So what we do is, in addition to that, we talk about how Aira plays a role in their lives. So we ask some pretty fun questions like, what do you use Aira for on a daily basis? How have you used Aira during the holidays? So coaches, and again, that's where that engagement comes in. So they share their own experiences with one another, and we just have a conversation that's just as productive as the conversations coaches have with their explorers.
Now, what if I want a coach? I'm thinking, okay, this sounds great. How do I get a coach? What do I have to do?
Excellent question. So in order to get a coach, you can do it in one of two ways. First, you're more than welcome to email, again, support@aira.io, expressing interest in the Aira Active program. Just tell us that you'd like to join. And then or you can contact customer care and let them know that you'd like to take part in the active program. At that point, a follow-up call will be made, and we ask you a couple of pretty straightforward questions, among them what your hobbies are. And the reason we do that is because apart from finding a suitable coach, that suitability we try to use in order to match you with an appropriate coach. So we take it a step further. We not only try to find a coach you can work with, but we also try to find a coach with whom you have some common ground. And it's really fun to do, just to peruse through and get to know the explorer, get to know their lifestyle, how they are. And of course, we also go over the Aira Active program. We walk you from A to Z how it works. And then we connect you with a coach. And then after that, you can correspond with a coach, like I said, in any medium of your choice, via email, text message, phone call. But in addition to that, you also have the opportunity to talk to us. So if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to send us an email. because we try to make it as streamlined and seamless as possible for you. So you have a conversation with the coach, but you're also more than welcome to contact us if you have further doubts or any questions too. So again, that streamlined factor is there.
Excellent. And there are no obligations, right? If you can stop or start the program at any time.
Yeah, absolutely. So the program does span 1 month, but if at any reason you need to stop, that's perfectly okay. And as long as you're a subscriber, you're welcome to resume. The coaches are also not obligated to work with an Explorer if, say, they're relatively busy, because we juggle quite a lot, right? So apart from work, sometimes we may be students, we may be doing some other things in our lives that may not give us adequate time to work with and explore. So what we do is we send you an initial email as a coach describing a little bit of biographical information detailing your Explorer. We don't give the name at first until you agree, and we give first name only for anonymity. So we try to protect your privacy as much as possible, because that's what Aira is predicated on. It's predicated on your privacy and your overall success. So that's what we try to do in this program as well.
Great. Great. Well, it definitely sounds like a wonderful tool. And we also have Emily Hill joining us. And Emily, you have recently joined the active team as well. Emily is our Director of Customer Experience. And she is also here to make another announcement. But let me ask you, Emily, what are your thoughts about the Aira Active program?
Everyone. So sometimes I feel like I say this about many of Aira's programs, but I think that Aira Active might be my favorite of all of Aira's programs that we offer. I also feel like that about the Job Seeker program. Maybe it is a tie between those two. Regardless, if you are interested, but maybe a little hesitant, I would highly encourage you to reach out to Bahzad with the customer care team, and he will be happy to talk you through everything you need to know about Aira Active, answer any questions you may have, whether before signing up as a coach or as a participant. And we promise you won't regret it. Now, you may decide at the end that it's still not for you, and that's okay, but there will be no regrets along the way.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
These are a really fun group of people, many of whom are in our audience tonight. So hats off to you all who are coaches. Now, Emily,
Wholeheartedly agree there.
Yeah,
they do such an awesome job.
They do. They do. And it's just nice to hear from other customers. We've got great people like Bahzad on our customer care team, and that's wonderful. And then you have Ryan and I doing the expeditions, which come from ideas that you all give us. But it's always better to hear from another customer, I think. I'm a big advocate of peer support. So, now, Emily, you have another project coming up before the end of the year for our customers. Can we talk a little bit about that and what people will want to be watching out for here in the next
Yes. Yeah, thanks, Jenine. So hi, Explorers on the call and everyone who will be listening to this later. We are launching here in the next week or two our annual customer experience survey. What does that mean? Well, if this is your first year as an Aira customer, it means that pretty soon we'll be reaching out to you to provide a little bit of feedback about our service. What's worked for you this year? What isn't working for you this year? Is there anything that we can do better? Is there anything that you would like us to do more of, or even alternatively, less of? So that will be headed your way, and we would sincerely appreciate your participation. There's two different ways that you can participate. So the survey itself is set to be anonymous unless you opt into sharing your name. So at the beginning of the survey, you'll notice that there isn't a section for your name or your email or your phone number all the way until the end. Why is it at the end? Well, it's so that you can provide your totally honest feedback and then decide at the end if you want to share your identity with us. If you do choose to share who you are with us after filling out our customer experience survey, there will be a bonus gift for you at the end. So that will be headed to your email, which if you do not have an email address registered with Aira, please do so before we send out the survey, because we would love to hear from you also. So it will come to you in an email. Jenine, is there anything that I missed that's important to know?
Well, let's see. People can give us their email addresses if we don't have them. And Ryan, you can chime in here because we've kind of revised this process a little bit. But if you, pardon me, if you don't have an email on file, you can go into your Aira app, go to your More tab, and tap on your profile. And there you can add an email address, and that will get right to us. And
You can also update your email there as well. So if your
see,
email
this is why I have Ryan tell
yep.
this.
So make sure your emails are correct and up to date. That way we can make sure that you get those emails. And that's not just for this survey, but for any emails going forward that we're going to send out. We want to make sure that everybody is receiving Aira emails. So the first recommended step would definitely be to check the profile of your Aira app, make sure that email address is up to date, and make sure that we do have it on file.
Yep. And if you have any difficulty with that, you can call customer care as well. Or you can email customer care at support@aira.io, and they will help you make sure that we have your email address on file. The easiest, quickest way, though, is to look in the app under your profile. And you can change a lot of things in that particular section. You can change your name, you can change your phone number, you can change your address. I believe you can change your phone number, right, Ryan? If you've got a different phone number you want listed.
You can change your telephone number. You can update your billing information.
Update your billing info. That was a big one.
Yep, that was a huge one. You can, name, email, phone number, address.
I think that's about
billing info. I think that's it. I think that's all you can do in there
for now. But again, that's something we're always looking at. So please go there and make sure that we have a good phone number for you. So what do you think?
Jenine, one quick important point before we move off of the customer experience survey.
Sure.
So at the very end, if you do choose to share your identity with us, you'll notice that it doesn't ask for your name. It actually will ask you for your phone number, and this will specifically be the phone number that you use with your Aira app. I know many of us have multiple phone numbers, whether it be your house phone or a work phone, but be sure to add the actual phone number that you use to call your Aira agents in that little question if you are choosing to share your identity, because we do want to make sure that you get the little gift at the end, and we can only do that if we know who you are by your phone number. So thank you in advance to everyone who is willing to share your experiences with us. We really do use this survey to ensure that we are tracking in the right direction to be able to support our explorers in the way that they wish to use the service. So thank you in advance. I really appreciate it. It directly affects me and my team of agents in customer care, as well as every other branch at Aira too, which you'll notice as you go through the survey. But just wanted to say from my team to you, thank you.
You are so welcome, Emily. So everybody stand by for that particular piece of email that will be coming out next week. So if you're all saying, okay, this year the holidays have been scaled back a little bit, so, you know, I'm kind of looking for something to do. This survey should not take very long. We're going to test it out, but I'm thinking, you know, maximum 15 minutes, probably more like 10. So, and my goodness, my phone is blathering at me there. There we go. Now, Ryan, we had a lovely meeting with our friends at Target last week. And they gave us some tips and tricks about the Target website and the Target experience that I
some
wanted
amazing
to share.
tips, honestly. You know, I a lot of things that I didn't even know, and so I'm excited to share some of these today.
Well, this is pretty cool because you tomorrow, in fact, are moving into your first house. And one of the things that you can do on the Target website with one of our agents, and they have honestly tried to make this as accessible.
I've actually tried this too.
Yeah.
It does work. And so you can use an agent and utilize what they call room decorator. And so if you're trying to find that specific couch that you want to put into a room, or if you want to find maybe a dresser to go into your bedroom, you can actually go into the Target website with an agent, and you can also do this with a screen reader, but I do recommend using an agent for the picture aspect of it. And you can drag and drop furniture into a specific part of the room and then buy it off of that, out of that drag and drop. And it does have the ability for you to use the arrow keys and move things around a little bit and ask the agents kind of where things are and how things look. And you can also change the dimensions and the size of the room as well. And so if you're not just limited to a specific room, but Target's actually made it so that way you can make this pretty adjustable, and find what you're looking for specifically. And so I think it's really useful. And it's kind of saved my life a little bit.
Especially with, fitting furniture into spaces, because, oh my goodness, I have a house that's got weird windows in weird places. And, some of the rooms, it was a real challenge fitting furniture into them. And so, this would have been great back then when we moved in 15 years ago.
Right.
And there are some things that you can actually do via the mobile app, using your phone with an agent on TeamViewer Quick Support as well. And that this whole room, kind of taking a 3D view of a room, is one of them. And that's one that we're, Target would love to hear your feedback on if you use any of these features. They also told us that there are tons of ways to get your things shipped to you. So be sure to go over with your agent all of the different options. You can actually go and pick up your things using rideshare. You can go to the store, pick them up inside if you want at the counter, if you've pre-ordered them online. Just a number of different things that you can do with the Target app, and using Target.com to set up your shipped orders as well. Because although Target owns Shipped is not an independent part of the Target offer. But you can go to Target.com and choose Shipped as your delivery method if you're ordering things that qualify. So that was a big kind of ninja tip there that I kind of wish I had known.
I
whenever
think
I set up my order. I
think
took
right
an
now,
Uber over and picked
one
it
of the
up.
biggest things for me that I think I have also used as well is the contactless pickup
Yes.
with the rideshare. It's super simple. You're able to just pull up outside of a Target store, open up the app, and let them know you're here. They will come out, and you'll on mine, it gave me a PIN number that I could read to them. And then what they did was they just opened up the trunk, threw everything in. I didn't have to get out of the car or anything, and I was on my way.
Yes.
And it was super simple, and it was amazing. You could use quick support with an agent to get into the Target app if you cannot figure out how to get all that to work, or you can go into the Target app and get that contactless delivery. There's so many delivery options.
There are a lot. And if you're not finding, if you're working with your agent and you're not finding what you need, I would say have the agent, put a note out, because a lot of our agents have been working with Target now and throughout this online offer. So if they don't know it, immediately, they've got the resources to find out how to get you what you need on that particular app. And of course, your time on the app is unlimited. Your time on the website is unlimited. So take some time and look around. I really enjoyed, my shopping experience, getting descriptions like my incredibly ugly Christmas sweater here. And that was really fun shopping for those. We didn't know how many of them there were, but then, I was also able to do some other shopping. And the accessibility team at Target is really dedicated to what they do. They have, I believe they said, around 12 people. There are probably more with disabilities who are working on that team, which I think says a lot for the company to put that many resources into it. And you can really tell because the app is very nice. The website is great. And there are features that they are really trying hard to make as accessible as they can. But I'll tell you what, they're a lot more fun with an agent. So We have finally, before we take maybe a couple calls here, Ryan, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I think we can grab
One
some.
more thing to remind you of. So we've been celebrating since July 26th, the 30th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act, and that celebration is about to come to an end. Our Celebrate Access promos are ending on December 31st of 2020 at 11:59 p.m. We have a couple promos ending then, including our promo with Way Around and our bundles. But the Celebrate Access promos are ending, so you have from now through that point in time on the 31st to take advantage of our promo with Walmart and walmart.com or walmart.ca if you're in Canada. If you are in our other customer areas, we have University of Auckland in New Zealand, we have Sydney Trains in Australia, and we have London Transport. So take a ride on the tube before that promo runs out. Now, what are we going to do with all that promo info afterward? Emily or any of Troy, any of you guys? But we don't just have a promo, guys. We never just have a promo and let it, go away and nothing ever happens to it. We at Aira are all about data. So what do we think is going to happen with that data from the promo? Because I bet a lot of people have used that Walmart promo since we trotted that out in early August, I believe.
I think you're asking me, Jenine.
I think I
and
am.
I think she.
But
I'd
I'm
love
really
to put
happy
our
to
CEO on the
elaborate.
spot.
Well, the question always comes, like, I always get this question. I think some of you have heard me talk about this. Like, hey, Troy, hey, Ira, why don't you provide access to XYZ, right? Like my local grocer or this chain or that chain. And, I would love to say it's so easy. Just all we have to do is email them like, hey, your customers want, Ira at, for example, Walmart. And they're like, hey, great, send us the contract and we'll sign up. Like, that's my fantasy. And that may happen someday. But right now we're in a position of being a new company, a new service. And frankly, in some cases, sadly, a little bit, that we're maybe the first corporation to knock on some of these doors and say, hey, there's an audience out here and there's a way to improve the experience for them, right? And they're just not aware. And I say I don't know if that's sad or that's just like the nature of there's not a product like Ira out there to do this. But either way, we're often met with a blank stare and tell me more. What, like, imagine though, however, you're walking up and going, and by the way, here is all the usage. Here's what people are doing. Here's the benefits. Like all businesses of any scale, like, most companies are run with some amount of data, right? Ira's, we run on data, not data alone. Like we actually use our brains and our intuitions and sometimes our emotions. But we also want to support it with data. And so all of those sessions matter. All of those sessions count. And, while we don't ever share your video, like that's not what we're sharing. Like we're not sharing your name. We're not sharing anything about you. Like at no time is, for example, a Walmart or Sydney Train's going to know that, for example, Jenine was on Walmart.com buying an ugly sweater, right? Even though she is wearing one and she actually bought it at Target, but like that's never coming out. So your sessions, your personal information, not shared. What is shared is the number of calls, the length of calls. Mm-hmm. We do track like what skills are used by the agent. Is it a navigation task? Is it a reading task? That is the kind of information that we capture. And then we may summarize like a little more anecdotally, like what we noticed that, Walmart users are struggling with the shipping service, or they're actually really taking advantage of this and that. But that's what it's for. It's an awesome tool to have when we show up to these brands and I say brands, organizations, to kind of help them understand the value of Aira and why they should consider deploying it. So that's why we encourage the usage, and that's why we here at Aira pay for those calls.
Absolutely. And thank you, Troy. That was exactly what I was looking for. And, it's always good to tell places like Walmart, you are the business that people chose. our customers actually chose you, and this is the result. So we're pretty excited about that.
Yes.
So I see that we have some hands raised here.
We do
and
have
Ryan,
some hands raised.
Yeah.
So you can get to us by raising your hand here on Zoom, or feel free to send a message in the YouTube chat. We'll definitely look at those as well. So we're going to go ahead and start off our questions with Paul Murrell.
all right.
Okay, guys. Hey,
Hey, how are you,
it's
sir?
good to hear you all in there, and thanks for all the great service. I just wanted to also pass this on to Troy and the rest of the team. I wanted to let all of you know that during the COVID-19, first of all, my wife is in a power chair, so she can't obviously jump into an Uber and go riding around. It's a very, it's a very long, tedious task. So either she can go sit for 6-7 hours and, well, maybe not that long, but it's rather laborious and she's tired. Or I go out and do it with Aira and various ride share. So I just wanted to let you all know through the entire pandemic, my subscription and your services have been invaluable to us. We've been able to remain completely independent. And as I always tell the store clerks as I come walking out, I brought my own store attendant with me.
Nice.
I just wanted to tell all you guys, let you know that is real important. I know that sometimes a lot of us can be your harshest critics, but the thing about it is when I'm out there doing my thing, taking care of stuff, whether it's with an agent or maybe without, and I've done the Target and the Walmart, and I'm pleased to say that I did actually think about barrier to entry, and I voted for Walmart out of interest of the community and not really the interest of my own. I don't usually go to Walmart, but I said, what's going to get more people to use this?
There you go.
So anyway, I just wanted to let you know that we've appreciated it. When the offer obviously sunsets and we're on our own deal, that's fine. But I just really wanted to let you all know that that's real super important for us. It makes a difference. We don't have to inconvenience anybody. I just jump in an Uber or Lyft, go down to my local store and just walk in like a regular sighted person and just start shopping, because as a low vision person, I've learned a little bit of the store, and what I don't know, the agents fill in the blanks and read the nice little tags on the shelf. And I'm able to get my business done. And sometimes it's a little longer, but I'm doing it. And even Costco. So I'm thankful to those guys. I've learned what to do, and I've learned the layout of the club. So I'm mostly calling them when I'm at where I need to be, and we work it to get it done. So just a little something to end off the year. Thanks for all your hard work.
Love that story. I absolutely.
You're so welcome, Paul. And Paul is one of our coaches, by the way. So
yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So who else do we have tonight?
All right, we're going to take a phone number next. It's going to be, I'll call out the first few numbers. So it'll be a 614 area code. And then the first three numbers will be 392.
Wait a minute.
Hi, my name is Shirley. Can you hear me okay?
Hi, Shirley. How are you tonight?
Okay, how are you? A couple things. First of all, I wanted to give some accolades to Bahzad. He worked with me in that program that I always forget the name of, the one that you were talking about before, where you have a coach.
Aira
Active.
Yeah, the Aira Active. Thank you. And he's excellent. And I haven't had the chance to, praise him to the Aira support people. So this is a good opportunity for me to do that.
So, made my day, Shirley. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. You've done a tremendous job. So, but on to the second thing. I've had a slight concern about, with you guys, of course, trying to get new places all the time, to take part in the Aira Access places, especially with COVID going on. I mean, I know you've got some people that are getting out and doing things, and obviously it's helpful, but there's a lot of us that are kind of hesitant to get out very much. And I would, hate for a new place to base our use, on what's happening right now, and then possibly decide, after an evaluation of so many months or whatever, like, gee, this isn't really getting used much, and do we want to really continue it? So I would hope, when you guys are working with new companies or whatever, that they would understand that, they have to take this into consideration, that these aren't normal times, and hopefully they're not going to base a long-range decision on this point in time as to whether they're going to keep their service going.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
that is
for sure.
point.
It's a well thought out conclusion, and absolutely, it's a kind of it's a balancing act. I mean, of course, like any business, they're seeing a decline in their general foot traffic, right? And so they're aware of that. And then we're also trying to focus on current deals, Starbucks notwithstanding, because they kind of came to us, or they just really want to move. They're very interested, but we're focusing on access offers where people can use them, and that's why you saw Target.com open up. We're talking to some other online properties as well, given that's where most of us are going, right? We're not leaving our house. We're using our keyboard to get to where we need to go, and so that's our focus, that and education. But for sure, that is kind of an interesting tension. Do you wait until things pick up? And in some cases, maybe we do. And I want to conclude with, I hope everyone knows that despite all my advocacy, all the advocacy you've heard, I want everyone to be safe. Like, I don't ask anyone to, do anything unnatural, unsafe, uncomfortable. If you are someone who's out and about already, I want you to be aware that there's an opportunity there. But if that's not something that's in your daily habit for any of the reasons, then please don't take a risk or a chance just to, further something like a Starbucks. I just want to be clear on that. So thank you for that comment.
Sure. Well, thank you. And I guess I know I had asked Jenine a couple of weeks ago, and I think at the time she wasn't totally positive, but I'm assuming or do you know yet, will the ACB thing be continuing that rate, for January?
Yes. There is a big
Okay.
announcement there. Yes, we will be continuing our power plans for all of our organizations that are signed up with the power plans, and that includes the American Council of the Blind, and all of those announcements will be going out probably by the end of this week to the various organizations. But that's ACB, that's National Federation of the Blind, and in Canada, that is the Canadian Council of the Blind and the Alliance for the Equality of Blind Canadians. Those are right now the 4 organizations that we have as part of our power plans group, and we want our veterans out there to stand by, because we will have some news for them involving the Blind Veterans Association as well. So all of that will be coming up. But yes, those plans will be renewed for another year, Shirley. So
Okay, thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, no problem. And thank you for bringing this up. I will add to what Troy said, in that, we really thought, oh my goodness, our airport network, because who's flying these days, right? Well, there are many more people flying than we think. And the airports, Troy, they haven't dropped out. They've renewed their plans, knowing that I think people are going to be coming back.
Yes, with few exception.
Mhm.
All right, I'm going to call out one of the airports. I just think they need to hear from you. But the one that was most interesting, the choice they made is the busiest airport in the United States. And for that, I think they might be one of the busiest on the planet. And that's, does everyone know, it's Atlanta.
Yep.
I think, there's a place where it wouldn't hurt for any of you to, for you to reach out to them and let them know, like,
Bug them.
what you think.
Let
But
them
I would say
know.
with that being a true exception, I found that that that's a great industry. They really are focused on customer service, and they really value Aira, and they're continuing on, and like everyone, they're waiting for business to get back to normal. But for now, they're hanging in there. So that's great.
And I think now is even more of an important time to be using something like Aira in the airport for things like social distancing, which, folks, if you are going out to businesses, that's one of the marketing tools that we tell businesses about. We actually can help customers with that aspect of actually being in the business when that has to happen. So definitely, we're looking out for everybody in all aspects here. Well, what do you think, Ryan? One more person? Let's see if we have one more.
I think we can get to one more
Before
person.
we
How
go,
about we
yeah.
go for... How about Ollie Q?
Hello there.
I saw your hand up for a while there,
Yeah,
so
Hello. Can you guys hear me all right?
we sure
We
can,
can.
Allie.
Hi, Janine. How are you?
I'm
I
wonderful.
see you on WhatsApp. Thank you so much. And I have a question and a comment as well. Thank you, Troy, for stepping up and being a fearless leader now.
My pleasure.
And I am going to travel to my home state of San Diego in March. I intend to use Aira in the airport because I've done so before. My question, though, really is Emily spoke about the customer survey. Is that just as my understanding? I think I heard you guys say that's just for new users. Is that correct?
That will be
Holly,
great.
thank you for asking. That is not the case. Actually, I would love if all of our explorers were to fill out the survey. So
Okay.
not just for new users, but for everyone, everywhere, no matter if you are in the States, the UK, Australia, New Zealand, or anywhere else where you may have Aira service.
Great, thanks. I'm in the cold state of
Canada, I
Minnesota.
forgot Canada. I
Yeah,
always
Canada.
know.
Yeah, Canada. Oh, great. But thank you so much. So I should be expecting that in my email then in
Yes,
next
ma'am.
week. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ira. I can't say enough good things about you guys and the service. I really love you guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Allie. And what a wonderful way to end our call and to end 2020 with our customers. We know we've got a few weeks left, but you know what? We'll be here for you during those weeks. Oh, one final thing. Emily, our customer care is going to be closed for a couple periods during this holiday time, right?
Yes,
Almost
we sure
forgot
are.
that.
So, yep, thank you, Janine. Very important notice. Our customer care team will be celebrating the upcoming holidays with their friends and family. So, customer care will be closed in Pacific time, which is important based upon where it is that you live. So, Pacific time, December 24th, December 25th, December 31st, and January the 1st. So, of course, in Pacific time, that is Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day. So if you call us on those days, you will not get connected to a member of our care team, but please feel free to send us an email, support@aira.io. And as soon as we are open again the day after Christmas and the second day of 2021, we will address all of those questions that have come in by email right away. We'll be on the phones and able to help out with any of your needs.
Awesome. And I'm going to ask Troy to read out what he put up here in the chat for Atlanta Airport so we have it for everyone who is listening to the podcast.
Yeah, like I think Atlanta Airport would love to hear from you if this is something you would do. Like you could email Steve Myers at, is that the right? Did I get the right? Oh my God, did I get the wrong address? Hang on.
That's okay. No
I
worries.
think it is. I just thrown by the ending address. So yeah, it is. I have the right address. So anyway, yeah, the email is Steve STEVE .Mayers MAYERS, and that's at ATL.com. ATL like Atlanta. So
Yep.
Steve.MAYERS at ATL.com. It's really coming from you. I'm not asking you to send that. I'm, not telling you what to say. But this is the kind of advocacy that, letter, email by email, tweet by tweet, we can help others, see the value of providing accessible services. So there you go.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Troy. It has been such a pleasure working here at Aira since 2019 and couldn't have a better team of people to work with. And I'm excited about 2021. So I want to thank you and Emily Hill, our Director of Customer Experience, Bahzad Ballout from our customer care team in the Aira Active program, and our product manager and YouTube guru, Ryan Bishop.
Thank you, everybody, once again. It's been an amazing year. I'm so happy to get to spend it with you guys here on these Explorer calls and every other live stream that we do. I look forward to doing tons more in the upcoming year, and hopefully some more at the end of the year. So,
And you know what time it is? It's time for the Braille Calendar.
Yes.
That's right, everybody. It is the 2021 Braille Calendar. Our next call will be on January the 20th. Ooh, maybe not. We're going to have to look at that, folks, because I did not look to see, but that is inauguration night. So some of you might want to be partaking in a little bit of inauguration, interesting programming on TV, some of the inaugural balls and things. So we may be changing that date for you in January because of some of the inaugural things going on, but we will let you know. But as of now, that is our next call. So we will let you know if we shift that date a little bit for you so you can actually take part in that here in the United States. So with that, I would like to wish everyone a wonderful end of the year, whatever it is you choose to celebrate. Stay safe and have a wonderful final few weeks of 2020 from us here at Aira.